Hello, developing mediums. Have you ever heard of the term piggybacking in mediumship? Ever hear a medium declare spirit communicators were piggybacking during a demonstration? In this video, we will examine the improbability of a belief in mediumship known as piggybacking using the robust foundation of neuroscience and current scientific knowledge. We will journey into the past to understand why the belief in piggybacking gained acceptance in some mediumship teachings and why we now have a more informed perspective. We will also investigate the possible adverse implications to the sitter when using the concept of piggybacking. Buckle up as we once again merge science with mediumship and debunk the practice of piggybacking. Piggybacking in mediumship readings refers to the belief of multiple spirits attempting to communicate through the medium simultaneously, even though the reading is intended for one person. This belief has not been explored in mediumship research or supported by scientific studies. Furthermore, piggybacking goes against currently established scientific principles, included those in the emerging field of quantum physics. Additionally, there is no consensus among professional mediums with regards to the belief in piggybacking. This belief appears to be based on personal perceptions and old practices that have been passed down. Many mediums reject the belief of piggybacking as it contradicts their understanding and experiences of how spirit communication occurs. Mediums often describe their connection with spirit communicators as a focused interaction akin to tuning into a specific radio frequency. The analogy of radio stations and frequencies in mediumship readings is plausible when considering the principles of energy and electromagnetic waves. It effectively illustrates how different frequencies can carry specific information and how tuning into the correct frequency is essential for receiving that information. This selective communication is crucial for clarity and is rooted in neuroscience. The human brain has a built-in limit on the number of discrete thoughts or impressions it can process simultaneously. Our mind acts as a central executive that can focus on only one thought at a time, processing around 5 to 10 thoughts per second at most. The teaching of Zen philosophy highlights that it is impossible to think of two things simultaneously. Although thoughts arise rapidly, giving the illusion of parallel processing, one thought must disappear before the next can emerge into consciousness. Psychological research by Edward Orr and Edward Vogel at the University of Oregon found that most individuals can hold only 4 discrete thoughts or objects at a time in working memory. Beyond this capacity, our ability to process additional information becomes significantly impaired. Therefore, the idea that the brain would be able to handle more than one communicator at a time, or more than one signal, appears to be improbable. Then what is happening? Where did the idea of piggybacking come from? The historical reasoning behind piggybacking is rooted in the practices and beliefs of spiritualism that emerged in the 19th century. Back then, mediums often delivered messages that seemed to apply to more than one person. This was partly due to the general nature of the messages and the high probability that common life experiences would resonate with multiple attendees. Mediums of the 19th century and spiritualists often rationalized piggybacking as an efficient way for spirits to communicate. They believed that spirits with similar messages or circumstances would use the same opportunity to come through. However, skeptics argue that piggybacking arises as a means for the medium to cover up inaccuracies. They also point out that piggybacking exploits psychological principles and statistical probabilities rather than genuine spiritual communication. Skeptics have a point. The statistical odds of general statements resonating with multiple audience members are high, especially with a larger audience. Skeptics also point to the Barnum effect, also called the Forer effect. This is a common psychological phenomenon whereby individuals see personal relevance in vague statements which are general to apply to a wide range of people. Skeptics also point out audience members are often eager to connect with their deceased loved ones. This eagerness may result in the person unconsciously interpreting vague statements as being specific to their situation. This confirmation bias leads them to find meaning in the medium's words, even when the statements are inaccurate. Skeptics point out the medium's claim of piggybacking exploits this bias, making it seem like multiple spirits are communicating when, in reality, the audience is filling in the gaps. Beliefs in the 19th century were shaped by the limited scientific knowledge and dogma of that time. With the advent of modern science and a deeper comprehension of the universe, numerous 19th century metaphysical beliefs have been rendered obsolete or untenable. So then what is the fix to the practice of piggybacking? Mediums need to simply build their skill to provide highly specific details to help narrow down the message's intended recipient. This can include names, specific events, and unique characteristics that are less likely to apply to multiple people. It should be noted that the larger the audience, the more skill the medium will need to have. This is because the law of probability plays a crucial role in evaluating the accuracy and legitimacy of mediumship demonstrations. If the medium cannot get enough specific evidence to discern who they are with, this traditionally has been when the piggybacking belief gets expressed. Instead of using piggybacking, a more effective approach would be to focus on developing mediumship to ensure specific information. Developing skills can significantly enhance the accuracy and specificity, which only adds to the validity and authenticity of mediumship. By honing abilities, mediums can provide detailed and precise information that leaves little room for doubt and scrutiny. Improving mediumship skills can help mediums build confidence in their abilities and trust in the evidence they receive. This confidence can translate into more accurate readings, reducing the need to rely on explanations like piggybacking. Additionally, ethical mediumship practices emphasize providing clear and accurate information. Thus, piggybacking arguably can be an ethical issue. It can detract from the overall experience for the sitters due to a lack of clarity and coherence. This lack of clarity and coherence can leave the sitters confused and unable to make meaningful connections with their loved ones on the other side. There is also a diluted personal connection that is inherent to piggybacking. Mediumship readings are sought to establish a personal connection with a specific deceased loved one. However, when piggybacking occurs, the sitter's experience becomes watered down as the medium's attention is divided among different sitters. As a result, the reading can become overwhelming and chaotic for both the medium and the sitters. The sitters may struggle to discern which messages are intended for them, leading to frustration, disappointment, and disconnection from the experience. Furthermore, when piggybacking occurs, the evidential value of the information provided can be reduced. This can undermine the sitter's confidence in the authenticity of the reading. While some mediums believe in piggybacking, it can significantly detract from the sitter's overall experience. A focused, coherent connection with the intended spirit is often preferred by sitters to ensure a personally meaningful reading. Let's recap. While some mediums have used the 19th century notion of piggybacking to explain why certain messages resonate with multiple sitters, or an inability to land a link in a mediumship group reading or demonstration, the field of mediumship must move beyond such explanations and focus on raising the standards of the practice. The belief systems and worldviews of the 19th century are often no longer appropriate or applicable in the 21st century, just as the invention of the automobile rendered horse carriages largely obsolete. The rapid pace of scientific and technological progress has made many 19th century beliefs obsolete. This includes outdated beliefs around mediumship, enhanced accuracy and specificity, continuous skill development, ethical practices, and a focus on evidence-based mediumship is how mediums can raise the standard, adding authenticity and validity to the practice. By focusing on these principles, mediums can elevate their practice and provide more reliable, evidential, and meaningful connections for those seeking to communicate with their loved ones. Thank you for watching, and remember to like, share, and subscribe for more content on the fascinating world of mediumship. If you have any questions or experiences to share, please leave them in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious and happy, practicing and developing.